Chullin Daf Kuf Chav Beis, continuing with the sugya of Olol, Aleph Lamed Lamed. Rabbi Yehuda holds that if you have shreds of meat that come off the knife while you're filleting a piece of meat, you're removing the skin, the hide from the meat. Person puts those aside, he's mevatel them, he nullifies them, he doesn't consider them meat. Yet, Rabbi Yehuda says if you take and gather a kazayis of those pieces, they're mitzdarif for a shear of tumah. Rashi explains a beautiful thing. He says that Rabbi Yehuda holds when a person gathers them, he shows that retroactively he never meant to be mevatel it, he never meant to nullify it. Therefore, it comes out that it doesn't get nullified by itself, those pieces of meat. You have to actively nullify it, consciously nullify it. That would be the sheet of Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Akiva holds that by themselves they become nullified. The hide, the skin has the ability to take the shreds of meat and nullify them, regardless if it shreds that come off a knife of a person cutting, or if it's shreds that come off a bite from a wild animal that attacked your animal. The Mishnah says, the first Mishnah in R Eli, that the skins and the hides are not mitzdarif if they don't combine for a shear of tumah with the meat, because the pasuk says, "Hanugeh ben avlasa," you must touch the nevel itself, the meat itself. Meaning, these are hides that are tough and hard, and you can't consider them meat. However, says our Mishnah on today's daf that there are skins, since they're soft, they're considered meat, such as human skin, soft enough to consider if you touch it, you become tamei. Ula says, well, midiraisa, human skin shouldn't be tamei at all. And the reason why Chachamim enacted a gzeira to make human skin tamei is because, unfortunately, people would want to keep a memento of their parents, and they would take their parents' skin and make it into some sort of rug. So they made a gzeira that it's asur, or that the skin becomes tamei. Some say that Ula said his halach on the seif of the Mishnah. It says in the seif of the Mishnah that if you walk with the skins or you work out the skins, then they're no longer tamei, they're tahar. Besides the skin of a human being, you can't make it tahar. And that Ula said, well, it was really midiraisa, it would be mutter, it would be tahar, but Chachamim acted a gzeira. And it would come out that according to that shita, Ula actually holds that human skin is midiraisa tamei. The Mishnah says that even the skin of a pig, a domesticated pig, since it's soft and people eat it sometimes, so it's considered basar, and a wild boar would not be considered basar because it's tougher. And Rabbi Yehuda comes along and he's mechulik and he says even a wild pig or a wild boar, its skin is soft enough to be considered meat. The Mishnah says that the skin on the hump of a camel, if it's soft, then it's mitzdarif, it's considered meat. What's the gather of soft? So Rabbi Shmuel Levi says it means as long as you never put any weight on it, it didn't have to carry a package. So the Gemara is mesupek if it means that it's a certain age that it can carry, or it means even if it's younger and it did carry, it's no longer considered soft. So the Gemara says an unbelievable thing. The Gemara says, look at the tough ones from Eretz Yisrael, meaning referring to Rish Lakish, that he was considered tough in mitzvahs, and that he wouldn't just talk to anybody. And if he would talk to somebody, people would take that as an indication that you could loan that person money even without Edom. That's how selective Rish Lakish was. And look at the Hasidim of Bavel, referring to Reb Zera, that he would fast. He fasted once for 40 days in order to forget his learning from Bavel, so that he has a clear head to intake the Torah of Eretz Yisrael, and he would check himself every 30 days in an oven to see if Gehedim is shaylat on him. And look at the difference. Rish Lakish, when they told him this halacha, he was so excited that he told his Talmud, please sit right in front of me. And Reb Zera, when they told him the halacha of what the gather of a camel is, he told his Talmud, he said, that's all you have? You keep on repeating yourself. Basically made fun of him. The Mishnah says that the skin of a young calf, which is soft, from his head is also mitzdarif to meat. What are the conditions? So Ula says you need two conditions. You need that it should be less than a year old, and you need that it should be nursing. If it doesn't nurse, then his skin of his head becomes tough. Rabbi Yochanan says all you need is one out of the two conditions. Says Rabbi Yochanan to Rish Lakish, this halacha that we have in our Mishnah is actually not la halacha, it's only a das yachid. It's a single, one person said this halacha and that's it. Because we find by Pigul, if a person has a thought to eat the meat underneath the tail of an oila, so the halacha is that he's chayiv kares, it's considered meat. Comes along a single man, the Amar, Elazar Yehuda Ish Avlim, and says also all the things mentioned in the Mishnah in our daf, meaning the skin of the hooves, the head of a calf, the sugya. So you see that it's a das yachid, and he also adds and he says even the skin of the womb. What does that mean? Even because he's talking about an oila. Oila is a zachar, can't have skin of the womb, but he says even in another case of a chatos, also you could be over on pigul on that as well. And that's a das yachid. What is this skin of the hooves? So you have Rav who says it's the skin that's literally touching the hooves, and Rav Chanina says all the way up to the knee. So from the knee downwards, the skin is so soft that it can be considered meat. There's 3 psukim in regards to the Shmoyne Shratzim. The first pasuk says, Choyled achbar v'tzav, meaning a weasel, a mouse, and a frog. That's one pasuk. Those 3 have pretty tough skin and are not included, says the Gemara. The second pasuk says, Anaka, Koyach, Leita, and Chaymed, which is a porcupine or a hedgehog, a large lizard, and a snail. And the 5th thing is a tinshemes, which is a mole, but not brought down in our Mishnah. So says Rav, these 5 things, since the 3rd pasuk says, Eila atmeim lochem, meaning these have halacha of meat, their skin is like meat, but it's only these 5, but not the original pasuk, not the first pasuk, because that's too far removed. Our Mishnah doesn't bring tinshemes, but Rav, who has a halacha like a Tana, he's mechulek and he says even a tinshemes. Why doesn't our Mishnah bring in tinshemes, a mole? Because our Tana holds that it feels like thick skin, and therefore it goes by your feel, and a tinshemes, a mole, has thicker skin, and therefore it's not included. A lizard. In our Mishnah is brought down, the Rebbe Yehuda holds the lizard his skin is thick, and therefore is not included, cannot be mitzdaref to meat. And our Tana Kama holds that it is mitzdaref. The Mishnah says, like we mentioned before, that any hide that you work it out or you walk on it, it's tar. What does walking mean? So, first of all, the Gemara says halacha that if you take the ear of a donkey, which has some meat in it, so it's actually an avela, but you mevatel the meat, you nullify it. You say, I need this donkey ear to close up a hole that I have in my basket. So now you no longer want it as an avela, you want it as hide, so the meat is batal and the hide is tahar. Now, what does it mean if you don't use it to plug up a hole? So you have to walk in it. You have to use it as shoes. How long do you have to walk in it? 4 mil. A mil is approximately 18 minutes. And that's where we get our 72 minutes from. Says the Gemara, there's 3 other amazing halachas that have to do with 72 minutes. If somebody says to his friend he's going to make a dough and the kli becomes tummy, he has to walk 72 minutes to get to the mikveh to retire it. And if somebody is on the way, he's traveling and he has to stop for the night, he should make sure he has a shul. If not, he has to walk at least 72 minutes to get there. And if you have to wash your hands for a sandwich or something, you're on a trip, you can't just eat it as is without washing your hands. You have to walk up to 72 minutes to find water. Have a wonderful day.